VHS Files contains spoilers, adult content, and harsh language. Listener discretion is advised.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
Welcome to the VHS Files Podcast with Jenny Lou,
So what do you want to do tonight?
Jason,
What about pizza and movie night?
Eric,
I want to rent a movie.
and Josh.
I want to go to a good video store so I can get a good movie.
And this is the movie of the week.
Let's get this pizza movie night started.
Hello and welcome back to the VHS Files, everyone.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jenny Lou.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Josh.
My name's Mr. Eric. Welcome back to the movie of the week, where we go back in time and look for the almost famous, a bigger quote, and the good, the bad, and the ugly of our favorite movies. This week, Jason picked the movie. Yay. And we saw Maximum Overdrive.
The movie of the week.
Hi. My name is Stephen King. I've written several motion pictures, but I want to tell you about a movie called Maximum Overdrive, which is the first one I've directed. Wow.
What in the dickens is going on around here?
A lot of people have directed Stephen King novels and stories, and I finally decided if you want something done right, you ought to do it yourself.
And who was driving it?
I don't know.
It's coming after us!
It was my first picture as a director, and you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
What is going on? I don't know!
I just wanted someone to do Stephen King right.
You want a war? You got one.
I just want to get the hell out of here.
So come and spend some time with me and my friends at the Dixie Boy. Spend some time in the dark.
Please don't let us be in the dark.
Help me!
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you. And that's a promise.
You're going to get us in an awful lot of trouble, man.
We already in trouble.
Maximum terror.
Jesus coming and he is.
Maximum King.
Maybe tomorrow will be our world again.
Dino De Laurentiis presents Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive.
Damn right, Bubba.
Goddamn right, Bubba.
Everybody's
movie-
character's name is Bubba in this movie. They're all Bubba.
I'm going to call you Bubba through the whole show. How's that go?
No, please don't.
God damn it, Bubba. Maximum Overdrive was released on June 25th, 1986, directed by the master of horror himself, Stephen King, who has not directed a movie since.
And I wonder why.
Hey, you picked this movie.
Oh, I know I did. I didn't say it was a great movie. I just picked it.
He decided to direct this because he wanted to do Stephen King right for a change, is what his quote was. He said everybody else has taken over his stories and done them as movies and not done them right, so he wanted to do it right this time. And I bet you he doesn't like that he said that now, because this thing was not a box office success. Based on the short story Trucks, this had a budget of $9 million. The box office in total, $7.4 million.
Yeah, 3.5 in the United
Only
States.
3.5 of that was North America.
So almost half
Yeah.
was America. And it
So,
still lost money.
Did not make its money back, and I don't believe he wanted to or was asked to direct a movie since then. This was released amongst the likes of Aliens, Flight of the Navigator, Howard the Duck, and Stand By Me, another Stephen King adaptation of this time. So, it's not 1987, Eric. Are you happy?
I'm very happy.
All right, well, take us back to 1986.
We're sending you back in time.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Well, Josh, Smoking is banned on all public transport, including trains, planes, buses, and coaches in the U.S. in 1986. Excuse me.
I'm just kidding.
Speaking of cigarettes, you know what I hate? When people leave cigarettes in urinals. So
Yeah,
disgusting.
that's
And it
gross.
makes them really hard to light.
You have to pick them up and sling them a little bit, right?
You got to squeeze them out. Geraldo Rivera opened Al Capone's secret vault in 1986 on television, discovering only a bottle of moonshine. Capone was sometimes known by the nickname Scarface. For a brief time before earning that name, he was known as Scabface.
Ugh. That wasn't funny. That was just gross.
You see him sitting there picking the gooey scab on his face.
Yeah, first two are kind of gross on this one. Hands Across America was in 1986.
Is that Jordan Peele movie?
No. And at least 5 million people form a human chain from New York City to Long Beach, California to raise money to fight hunger and homelessness. This was actually the second effort for the event after the embarrassing failure of the originally planned Human Centipede Across America.
I like that one. That was a good one. I give you that one, Eric. That was awesome.
That takes on new meaning now.
And finally, let's take a listen to this feel-good hit from 1986. Hit it, Josh.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember back on one of our episodes, we were talking about Chevy Chase in the music video.
Yeah.
And I could not remember which one it was. It was.
How do you not know?
I know it's for this
Yeah, we all knew it was.
Yeah, I'm the idiot. Yeah, I just wanted to confirm I'm an idiot.
Life is so hard. I need a
Confirmed.
opportunity. I want a shot at redemption. Don't want to end up a cartoon in a cartoon.
Great video.
Yeah.
Classic.
Dogs in the
It's funny, some of the best music videos are some of the simplest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the two of them. They're picking up props and doing all the cool stuff.
Just
with the
hanging
whole
out.
video.
It looks like they did like one take or 3 takes maybe. Just hanging out.
Well, the best music video ever is not so simplistic, and that would be Michael Jackson's Thriller. You Can Fight Me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that you brought up Thriller when I talked about
A music video.
music videos.
No, that never happens.
Oh, man. Well, you guys ready to do a little bit of trivia from 1986?
Yeah.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
All right. So, in honor of our movie of the week this week, Maximum Overdrive, directed by Stephen King, the 7th annual Golden Raspberry Awards in 1986 was pretty popular with this movie. Maximum Overdrive received the prestigious honor of being nominated for 2 Golden Raspberries at the 7th annual Razzies Awards. And what categories was it nominated for? That is the question.
I know.
Jason, go ahead.
Best director and best actor, or AKA worst and worst, by Stephen King and Emilio Estevez.
That's right. Jason
Nailed it.
Did his homework here.
Booyah! What do I win? What do I win? What
You
do I
don't win anything.
What the fuck?
Respect.
Bubba?
Don't win because we had to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Damn you, Bubba.
That's what you win, is you got to watch Maximum Overdrive this week for the show.
There you go. I like it.
But unfortunately, the Razzie went to Prince for both categories for his movie Under the Cherry Moon. Worst actor and worst director, Prince.
Ooh, God, man.
So, as I mentioned, Under the Cherry Moon, it dominated the Razzies with 8 nominations. What foul film came in with 7 right underneath it?
Howard the Duck.
It's a good guess. Foul felt like a hint.
That's correct.
Man, I'm killing it.
Foul.
Good work. Good work.
You got to throw a little bit of a hint in the question there. It helps everybody.
Yeah, foul. And he did mention Howard the Duck in the movies that were released. So.
I did.
Garbage Pail Kids popped into my head for some reason.
Let's talk about the real award show, the Oscars, a little bit. Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple was nominated for Best Picture in 1986, but lost to Sidney Poitier's Out of Africa. But he would go on to win for Best Picture. Does anybody know what film he won Best Picture for?
Was it Schindler's List?
That's what I was about to say. It's about
The
only
award
thing I
goes
know.
to Eric for Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Although Steven Spielberg has not captured any other Oscars for Best Picture, he did get one for Best Director. Do you know what film that was?
T-minus 30 seconds.
Jurassic Park.
Fuck you.
T-minus 20 seconds.
I can't think.
This did come out close to that, though.
Is it AI?
10.
No.
9.
Oh, that came out way later.
8. 7. 6.
I have no
5,
clue.
4. 3. 2.
No.
1.
That was close
0.
to Jurassic Park.
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, duh.
Oh.
Okay, well, let's get into this big truck movie and talk about Maximum Overdrive a little bit. So, Jason, this was your pick for movie of the week. Go ahead, start us off. Give us your background with Maximum Overdrive, what you thought about it then, what you think about it now.
The reason I picked it, it's a childhood movie that I loved to watched it all the time. We rented it. I can't tell you how many times, watched it on TV. Main reason, like I said many times, I grew up here in Texas. My family owned and operated big trucks that we see in the movie. So I grew up around these things my whole life.
Right.
And I learned to enjoy them. I mean, you also have all these other movies that came out before it, close to the same time, like Smokey and the Bandit. I mean, you had the Snowman, and then you had Steven Spielberg's Duel, which is another truck movie.
Way before this, though.
Yeah, Convoy with Chris Christopherson. Trucks were like a big deal between the 70s and about the end of the 80s.
When was Over the Top?
87, I believe, or something like that. So trucks were a big deal back then. I mean, and growing up here, I mean, we grew up around those, and people, we loved them here. I mean, people made money with those. But I enjoyed the movie. I mean, it was a nice, scary horror movie with big trucks. And, I mean, we got Emilio Estevez, which he plays Billy.
Well, it's a horror movie with big trucks. I don't know how scary it is.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a good entry-level horror film.
Yeah, it was like the original Final Destination with the log truck. You know, because people would think they would see these trucks come up behind them after seeing this back in 1986, and they're like, "Oh shit, is this truck going to run me off the road? Is the clock on the wall going to come down and kill me? You know, are my Sony Walkmans going to make my ears bleed?" I just liked it. It's like I said earlier, it's not a great movie. It was just a fun movie when I was a kid. That's why I put it on our list. I mean, do I say it's great at all? No. And Stephen King admitted he was coked out of his mind the whole entire time he did this movie.
People have even said that they believe George Romero ghost directed this. This is another situation like Tobe Hooper and Spielberg with Poltergeist. Romero was present on the set for this quite a bit, and
that's interesting because I have some thoughts.
Yeah, well, even the people who love Romero he is known for certain camera angles, and you see those in this movie, and people would point it out, like you said, and him and King were like best friends.
Yeah,
and
I think they had worked on Creepshow. It was around this same time they were working on Creepshow together.
Yeah, and they said that King was also trying to get help for his cocaine addiction, and he would be gone from the set a few days at a time or during whatever he's trying to get help with. So they think Romero stepped in and did a lot of behind the scenes directing of this that people didn't know about, but there's still no confirmation. Neither King has never said yes, and Romero's not here anymore. So,
well, let's go over to Eric. Eric, was this your first watch for Maximum Overdrive? Ooh.
Yeah.
Anxious to hear your thoughts.
It's funny because I have no idea how I never saw it. You know, it's one of those that just surprise you. It just slips through the cracks. And I've heard nothing but, well, I won't say nothing but I've heard a lot of trash talk about this movie. So I came in with like the lowest of expectations. I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised. And I thought, hold your hand, sir. I actually thought it looked pretty good at times. And you know, now I'm intrigued with the Romero theory because there's parts of this film that look good. Like I was like, damn, like this isn't the piece of shit that's been described to me for so long, you know? I actually had fun with it.
Okay.
Yeah, Eric, woo, got my back.
Well, I'm going to throw it over to Jenny. Jenny is our resident Stephen King fanatic. You've seen this before, I know, but so tell me your thoughts on Maximum Overdrive.
Well, it's not like Stephen King hasn't written some B horror novels.
Right.
Because he for sure has. This is really bad. It's really, really bad. Famously, King's work does not transfer well to film.
Right.
Definitely.
With the exception, I think, of character-based stories where it's just about real terror, you know, something tangible in the real world, where you get into the supernatural or sci-fi realm, anything outside of reality with him, it doesn't present well in that format.
Right.
It can't capture the depth of his world building.
So looking at this one for Stephen King as the director, can Stephen King do Stephen King right?
Maybe Stephen King now could, but Stephen King coked out all the time. I obviously could not.
All right. Well, I'm in the same boat as Jason. I watched this quite a bit as a kid. Don't really know why. It was just something about the fact that vehicles being alive and killing people was
fun
for a kid. Yeah.
It's fun. That's it.
And, you know, looking at it now with adult vision, it's got so many problems that I'm going to be bringing up a lot of things here, but as a kid, yeah, I mean, I could equate this to like, I don't know, like mindless Saturday morning cartoons in a way, even though there's kids getting ran over with steamrollers and shit like that. I think one reason this movie really kind of stood out for me is Eric, you are familiar with the area I'm talking about here. I used to live down in the Cove, and I think you lived down there for a brief period, right? But
I did. I lived in the Cove.
But you're familiar with the Cove, though,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So in this little area of town, there is a drawbridge that goes over to the Cove area. I lived, you know, like a block away from there. So I would constantly ride my bike back and forth to the downtown area over this drawbridge. And every single time I went over this drawbridge, I just thought about the opening scene to this movie. And
dude, you're having my Phantasm experience.
Right.
Exactly.
Although it wasn't one of those where I was scared to death. It was just one of those like, oh God, that fucking movie, you know?
Dude, that drawbridge scene is an example of something good from this movie, in my opinion. I actually like it.
Well, I wish I could have gotten Ginny on tape as we were watching this movie, because we started this last night and the drawbridge scene starts and she was going nuts about the watermelons.
The watermelons.
They're wasting the watermelon.
They drive the entire section of story forward with the watermelons.
It's like the watermelons are the gore of that scene. Like, you don't see any blood or guts or anything, but you see plenty of smashed watermelons.
Yeah, you got watermelons going through windshields, rolling down the thing. The guy falls out of his car into a pile of watermelons.
The carnage, the watermelon carnage.
But listening to Ginny's commentary as this shit's going on, and there's the guy who's stuck in the middle as the bridge is coming up, and Ginny's like, should have got out of that truck, man.
Yeah, he tries to save the truck, and it's not a good.
That's my number 2 worst fear.
Is to fall into a body of water in a car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the drowning thing.
I think that would be everybody's like top 2 or 3.
Mine's a watermelon coming in through my windshield.
We've already kind of gotten past it here, but you know, we start the scene of this. The starting scene of this movie is the bank ATM with the sign going, you know, saying whatever, and then it starts to
saying
flash.
"Fuck you,
fuck
you, fuck you, fuck you,"
and then we've got our director gracing us with his presence in the very first scene of this movie. And honestly, this is one of the things that I remember most about this movie is Stephen King in the beginning of it going, "Come on over here, sugar bums. This machine just called me an asshole."
I'll say one thing for this watch of this movie. I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie is funny.
Yeah.
Like
it's like a horror comedy, really. Like it doesn't seem like it was meant to be that, but it damn sure is a horror comedy.
I don't know. I think Stephen King has a sense of humor. But
oh yeah, he does for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is when you read any kind of background on this movie, this is totally different than the book, the short story.
Mm-hmm.
He actually wrote it and then made a totally different movie than what he wrote in the book, because it was more of a somber, kind of scary feeling, and he made it campy. He said he did that on purpose.
Yeah. Has anyone read the?
I've never have.
No.
No one here has read it, unfortunately, but I did do a little bit of background on it. Apparently, in the short story, it's only trucks that are affected by this comet passing by. I don't even know if the comet's really even present in the story.
Trucks.
But, hence the name trucks. It's only trucks that are coming to life and mowing people down. So therein lies the first problem I have with this movie is you're already kind of going out of the scope that was originally set by the story. The way everything starts to play out here, I'm constantly now, as an adult, watching this movie going, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. There's no fucking way that would happen. Nope.
Well, the biggest question and inconsistency is what is a machine and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that they kind of break their own rules throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Or there's no rule set, which is problematic because you do start questioning things like, how did that dog get a toy car in its mouth?
Yeah.
Or, how did a pair of headphones kill a guy? Or why isn't that bicycle? Bicycle's a machine, right? Like if the machine gun's a machine, then a bicycle is too, right?
Well,
like, we're talking about electricity or,
right.
Some things are just simple mechanical machines in this that aren't.
Unfortunately, with a story like this, you have to have some sort of logic set in place. Okay, machines are coming to life. Yes. What does that constitute? What kind of machine? Does it have to be an electrical machine? Can it be a manual machine? Like all
like
of
a
that
bicycle
stuff is
right.
They're just willy-nilly with everything here. Because you've even got when the kids riding through town, seeing all the bloodshed that's happened. You've got the lawnmower that's run somebody over. Okay, that I can think will qualify. But then you've got ladies falling out of windows with hairdryer cords wrapped around their neck. So you're telling me the hairdryer wrapped its cord around her neck and choked her to death. Like, it just very inconsistent.
Not only that, not even every car.
Right.
That's my problem that I've noticed even years ago with Connie and Curtis's car.
Yep.
Yeah, Connie and Curtis's car is never a problem. Neither is the Bible salesman guy. So, the gas pumps appear to be fine. Other machines in the gas station aren't going crazy. Some of them are, like
arcade,
and then some of them aren't. So yeah, it's inconsistent. This movie's kind of dumb fun.
You can't overthink it. Yeah.
We're talking about it, so
you can't.
We're here to overthink it. So that's what we're gonna do.
That's really where I'm coming at watching it this time around. I can let all that stuff go as a kid because I'm, not thinking about it. It's not something that's ever been a thought in my mind. So why even worry about it? But now putting this movie under a microscope is not a great idea.
No.
But just for anybody out there who may be listening who hasn't seen this, it's about a comet that passes by Earth. Rhea M, I think, is the name of the comet.
Yeah, Rhea M.
And we're led to believe that while Earth is in the dust of this comet for 7-8 days, machines are just going to go haywire.
Yeah, 8 days, 5 hours, 29 minutes, and 23 seconds.
So
they got it down to the second.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we get introduced to a group of people in Wilmington, North Carolina, all converging on one particular truck stop, and then it's go time from there. It's basically your typical Stephen King stuck in one location story here. Like, honestly, I liked this movie better when it was called The Mist.
Oh, shit.
That is better.
You really, The Mist.
Or a number of other King movies.
Yeah.
Or books more specifically. Like, Jenny, what's that one that we like?
What's the one that we
What's that one we like?
What's that one Stephen King book that
Desperation?
we like?
I haven't read Desperation.
Do you read the follow-up to that?
No.
Well, I did. And it's about people kind of stuck in the desert. It's a small town, and you get, a colorful cast of characters just like this, just like The Mist. They're all trying to survive something, an evil.
Do you read Under the Dome?
No.
Same thing.
You need to read those. They're great.
I have a fear. This is why I don't read all of Stephen King, because he's going to die and then there's not going to be any more.
So you're not reading and enjoying his books because you want to have something to read after he dies? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I want to have it for my whole life.
All right. That's fine. What if you die before he does?
I was going to pose that question.
Well, then I won't know. I mean, I'll be dead. So
you can be someone like me who's read the first 4 Dark Tower books and hasn't read the rest of them.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, book reading for me is quite a task. So
what are books?
Jason can't read, so.
I can't read. It's got to have pictures.
I will tell you how funny Stephen King is.
How funny is Stephen King?
Today, Stephen King tweeted, I was washing my car with a friend. He said, can't you just use a sponge? Thank you. 2 satellite dishes got married. The wedding was for shit, but the reception was excellent. Try the meatloaf.
Oh my God.
Wow, Stephen King. There you go. Well, hey, I do have one question. Is this movie in Marvel canon in the MCU? Because the Green Goblin's in it.
Is Green Goblin in the MCU? I guess he's about to be, right?
Yeah, probably about to be.
We can all
that was the thing I always remembered about this movie because that's the only thing I knew from it was the Green Goblin truck. I mean,
because right here where Josh is talking is when we get the entrance of the Happy Toys truck with the big Green Goblin on the front of the truck with the glowing eyes.
Yep.
Isn't that weird?
It's very iconic.
It is, but why Green Goblin? Why not just some random?
That's the thing. And
is that some weird product placement or? I just don't understand why, because we have a lot of Miller Lite in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's Miller Lite everywhere, signs, trucks. They're drinking it the whole time. It's weird because they have the Jack in the Box that's also the Green Goblin, but you never see any other Marvel stuff. It's just this Green Goblin image. It's just weird. Like you'd think there'd be like a comic book rack in the gas station or something.
I don't know. That's to me the thing that sticks out the most through the whole movie is, I mean, at this time. I'd been reading Spider-Man books for years, and then the first thing you see is the Green Goblin coming down the road, and you're like, "What the?" You're just freaking out because I mean, I was 9, 10 when this movie came out. So
by far the best decision by the filmmakers here is the Green Goblin truck. It gives you a focus point on who the bad guys are here.
It puts a face with the sort of presence that's around everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's a menacing looking truck. Besides that, I mean, it's all black, got the blood red interior.
Even the clown on the back of it is creepy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It looks even better when it's got blood splattered all over it.
Yeah. Stephen King likes clowns.
Let's talk about this Dixie Boy truck stop here and some of the characters within this thing. You got Billy, Emilio Estevez's character, and Bubba Hendershot, who runs this place. Great job of making Mr. Hendershot the most despicable person in this movie from the get-go.
There are things that feel definitely Stephen King in this, and his character is one of them. Just a completely despicable asshole. Some of the other things that really feel very Stephen King to me are like the driverless ice cream truck just going around like that. That was like quintessential Stephen King, right? Creepy level is just something like nostalgic from your childhood that would scare, but evil. You know what I mean?
Well, that was one thing that posed a question to me watching this movie is I'm picking apart this movie about machines and cars coming to life, and yet I love Christine. Fucking love Christine. And it's about a car.
That's a whole different.
And that's what I want to bring up is Christine works. No, Christine works in a sense of, okay, this car could possibly be possessed by the spirit of something.
Right. It's a simpler idea that's easier to pull off.
Whereas you just tell me, oh, machines are alive. Okay, what the fuck do I do with that? You've got to give me logic with this, or it's not going to work for me.
I like that we have Yeardley Smith here, Lisa Simpson.
I don't.
Well, no, I don't either. She's terrible. But
dude, you loved her in Billie Jean, though. And she was annoying in the
we're not talking about the Legend of Billie Jean. We're talking about this fucking movie.
She is awful.
But it's funny. You mentioned this Lisa Simpson movie. She got cast to be the voice of Lisa Simpson while she was doing this.
Oh, really?
Yep. And in the season 10 of The Simpsons, they did an episode called Maximum Homer Drive.
Oh, nice.
So they actually tied the two together. So.
Well, to be completely honest, from the moment she's introduced in this movie, it's like nails on a goddamn chalkboard for me. Like,
I don't like her. Or is it Curtis?
Curtis.
No, Wanda the waitress. Come on, man.
I think I know some people who would
Jason, you have a problem with women.
Who would agree with Wanda in these dark times we're living in.
Yeah, I would say so.
Just saying.
How fucking cool is the name Hendershot though? I hate the guy, but Bubba Hendershot is one of the coolest fucking names I've heard. In the worst possible sense.
Next dog you get, you need to name it Hendershot.
Come here, Hendershot. God damn it, boy, come here.
Dude, you do that too well.
I said I watched this movie quite a bit as a kid. We'll get to them later, but there are quotes in this movie that I still use to this day.
Dude, I got a crap ton of them here. So, but
yeah, the guy who gets gas squirted in his eyeballs.
It's not gas, it's diesel. Get it right.
You can. I mean, you really shouldn't look into the barrel of
that color.
No, it is not. And I had that in my notes.
This is evil diesel.
That is this is the blackest diesel I have ever seen.
This is like the bubbling crude that the Beverly Hillbillies hit.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I know that some of these guys around here like to run, the raw or diesel and stuff like that. But come on, man. I mean, it comes out, it looks just like cut down motor oil coming out of this. And I'm like, are we trying to make the diesel evil? Most of it is like a reddish color or tints of like that. But I was like, that diesel is not black. Yeah, I guess the black makes it scarier. And you never, obviously, like a gun, you don't stick a nozzle to your face.
Yeah, so, you're just asking for it.
What you said something about the gas pumps being possessed. Right there they were, because it squirted him in the face.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you also never, if the Coke machine doesn't work, you don't look into the Coke machine hole.
There were many times I went to a soda machine and that's all I could think was getting nailed in the nards with a soda machine.
That's the other part of this movie that was definitely like imprinted on my brain, was the soda machine spitting those cans out. And honestly, like over distance, it doesn't seem like, it's going to be so bad. But when that dude gets nailed in the head and the makeup they do on his head for that, God, dude, like it looks great right there.
Yeah, and I love the random steamroller just comes in out of nowhere. He just runs over that kid.
And that scene was supposed to be a lot bloodier. There was actually like a balloon for the kid's head, and when it popped, it like sent blood everywhere. And of course the MPAA, chopped this movie to shit. But it, apparently George Romero even got a little like creeped out by how much blood popped out of this thing when they ran the kid over.
And that's from Mr. Living Dead himself.
Yeah, that's saying something.
Yeah, the soda cans. And not only that, you get two kids that get killed by the soda cans. They're laying there. And then you get the one killed by the steamroller. And we meet Deke.
Smart kid. He puts the catcher's mask on.
Yeah, I mean, he's immediately bam. And he's getting whacked in the face with soda cans too. But like you said, catcher's mask, he's good.
Well, I mean, honestly, he really just, he could move to the left or the right. He'd be fine.
Oh, come on, man. He's a kid.
That's actually the case for a lot of the people that die in this fucking movie is just zig and zag, buddy, and you're going to be fine.
Yep.
Never run in a straight line.
Yeah.
Never. The one thing right before that I was going to talk about, because in the state of movies and TVs that we are all enjoying nowadays, I never realized who that was in the arcade.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him later.
But I mean, even the way he dies, you got pinball machines going crazy and he touches the machine and it shocks him.
Yeah.
Right.
But I love him going crazy in the arcade, packing his fucking pockets full of cigarettes and money, anything he can get his hands on.
Yeah, quarters. Yeah, I thought he was going to get away with it too, but he got
hypnotized by the arcade game.
Yeah.
It reminded me something like out of Halloween 3.
There's a scene in Ninja 3, The Domination, that completely rips this scene off.
Oh my God. This is when we meet the creepy Bible salesman and Brett traveling down the road, and he's getting trying to fill her up the whole entire time.
Yeah, this guy is bad news.
If you didn't think Bubba Hendershot was a despicable, lowly piece of garbage, This guy is definitely right there with him.
Yep.
He is disgusting.
Yep.
And honestly, that's another thing I want to bring up here is this Bible salesman guy is completely disgusting. Anytime I look at him, I'm just like, I feel like fucking gross.
That feels like a Stephen King thing too. Like when he has like nasty, evil characters in his books, they're always gross. They're always he's always describing them chewing tobacco or their spit or their eating food or whatever.
Well, it's funny you say that because that's the note that I have here is there's the scene where he's talking to them in the diner.
And he's eating.
And he's talking with his mouth full. It's fucking gross, dude.
It's really bad.
Like,
that's something he would write.
Yeah, like his appearance reflects his like soul, you know, he's just disgusting, you know, so he's
selling
disgusting.
Bibles, got a big suitcase that says the Holy Bible on it.
Even more despicable because he doesn't care about anybody. But
just him being under this false fucking mask of religious nutbag when he's really just a despicable, gross human being, you know, like.
Well, we know exactly how hypocritical he is because they get to the gas station or to the Dixie Boy. They're sitting there and he's trying to sell the Bibles to them. And one of the trucks runs into his Cadillac.
Yeah.
First words out of us was, "God damn it." He's hollering like the whole entire time. I'm like, wow, well, this changed really quick. I mean, you were filling her up in the car. Now you're using the Lord's name in vain. If you're a Bible salesman. Yeah. And
even the whole exchange when she gets out of the car and he's like, you know, he makes it seem like that she fucking owes him something. And it's just so fucking gross, man.
He's yucky.
People just aren't polite. I gave you a ride in my brand new car. But like in most movies, the asshole gets what's coming to him because the goblin truck cranks up and slams the rear end of the creepy clown face right into him and sends him flying into the, was it like
knocks
a
him out of his
retention
shoes.
ditch? Yeah, literally. Yeah. Knocks him out of his shoes.
You said something about that when he does it. I guess that's something Stephen King does is knocks people out of their shoes pretty often.
Pet Cemetery.
I haven't read that. I've only seen the movie. So.
Well,
but you know who gets hit.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Very descriptive.
That's right.
Oh, look, there you go.
I remember
more Stephen King trucks.
Yeah, I remember that scene in that movie was like my mom would not watch that movie. She's like,
my mom had nightmares.
Oh no, a kid dies in that movie.
About the book.
What's funny is she's like, oh, I'm not gonna watch that. A kid dies in it. When she's the one who fucking showed me this movie, which was before Pet Cemetery, mind you. Like, no problem with the kids who fucking die in this one, but no, you're not gonna kill the toddler. That's you know pushing the line too far.
Yeah. Well, because right here is when you start realizing something's fucked up. I mean, we had the knife attack Wanda earlier in the kitchen. They just thought it was something random. I mean, Billy smashes it with a hammer. Mm-hmm. And then because Handy, the truck driver that drives the Happy Toys truck, he was talking about, I don't know how they did it because they were a hot wire champion because he's holding the keys. And that's when they're starting to realize something's really weird here because things are starting to move around and they still don't really have a clue of what's going on.
Yeah, well, I was talking about dirty people, and I also want to talk about Billy here, Emilio Estevez, because, God, does he look like a fucking dirtball in this movie, too. And it doesn't help that he's wearing that white shirt with the red blood stain on it for the entire fucking movie.
Then he climbs through the sewage, and then he works for a long time and sweats through it. And yeah. You'd think he would have like an extra shirt somewhere, but I guess not.
I mean, I hope when he got back, he didn't like cook up hash browns and, you know, eggs after climbing through that.
Yeah. Right. I mean, he's a short order cook. It's not like he's going to look all crisp and clean.
Yeah.
You know
He's just, and he obviously helps probably work with the trucks. He's working over a greasy freaking griddle all day. Yeah. He's not going to be that clean. So.
Well, it's just funny because when Brett comes up to the place and she sees him for the first time, I think Jenny made a comment of, or you made some kind of like, Emilio Estevez. I was like, really? He's fucking looks gross in this.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's what like people would say.
Oh yeah.
Not that I was saying that. Like, he's
whatever.
The eye candy of the movie.
She's backpedaling. She was all like, damn, I like Grammy Emilio Estevez.
You know that 5 o'clock shadow ain't my thing.
He looks a lot like his father. I can
right
see
there.
It.
Yeah.
I can see it so much in this movie. And it's what's funny is I'd always known of Charlie Sheen, you know, and Martin Sheen being of the Sheen family. But I remember my mom telling me when I was younger that Emilio Estevez was also part of that family. And I was like, well, why are their last names different? But, you know, I used to think Charlie Sheen looked like Martin Sheen, but no. Emilio Estevez is like a spitting image of him.
I mean, it's weird though how Charlie and Emilio kind of flip how much they look like their dad at certain ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Emilio does look more like Martin, especially now.
There are things in this movie that I think are actually kind of scary and effective. Although they don't totally always go for very long with it. Maybe it's like just
thrill me.
Well, when all the trucks start honking at the same time.
Yeah, that's uneasy.
That's
I
unnerving.
was thinking like, I was hoping that would go on longer. And I guess you're in a movie, you can't have honking horns the whole time. But imagine if they were just like laying on their horns, you know, like 20, 30 trucks laying on their horns for hours.
You would go
like,
insane.
And these people are like stuck inside, like just listening to the blaring horns. Like that's not like a creepy thing to me. It only lasts for a minute.
I can see where that would actually make Wanda's character even better.
Right.
Because she fucking snaps from the horn honking. I like it, Eric.
I think that's what they're going for with Wanda is, you know, like just the sequence of events is just pushing her to the edge, but we don't really feel that. It's not done effectively. And she just comes across as annoying because everyone's like playing cards and like, you know, gambling with peanuts and, you know, and then she just like freaks out and runs out the door. But
You can! We made you! We're just some loyalty, you beauty thing! We made you! We made you! Oh, we made you! We made you!
She's just a big fan of AC/DC. That's all it is.
God, it's the AC/DC in this movie, man.
Well, you know why they're in this movie, right? You know why?
Stephen King begged them to be in it.
No. Not only that, they're his favorite band.
Right.
Interesting.
And he begged them to do it, and he even sang one of their songs to them so he could prove to them that he is a fan. So that's why they're here. But it worked out great. I mean, an album named Who Made Who? Bam, it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little too much AC/DC for me, but it's not bad.
This movie is what it is, but I feel like AC/DC out of the soundtrack would probably improve the movie a little bit. I don't know. AC/DC in this movie just doesn't fit very well. I've never thought it has fit very well.
I don't know. I like some of the little bluesy riffs when it's kind of slow and mellow going on. It fits.
Well, is that AC/DC though? Because I believe there's some music that is and some music that isn't AC/DC in this.
It's all AC/DC, but you got Bon Scott and Brian.
Oh, man. All right. Well, we're going to talk about the cast a little bit.
Almost Famous.
I know that, dude.
I don't know them. I know her. Haven't you ever heard of that guy? That guy who was in that movie that was out last year?
I'm sort of famous for being almost famous.
All right, Jason, it's your movie. You go first.
Well, I'm not going to pick the guy that everybody would think because I actually think he's too famous because he's too well known. So I'm not going to pick that guy. And I know that's one of you guys are going to say his name because y'all love the show that he was on.
Shows he's on?
Yeah, he's on 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I got 2 here that I really, really like.
You just said Bubba.
Yeah, I do like Pat Hingle because, I mean, he played
Commissioner Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon in all the Batman movies. Yes, he was in Brewster's Million, Hang 'em High. I mean, he got a long list. But I like him, but I actually like the guy that played Handy. What's his name? Frankie
Faison. That's mine as well.
Dude, all the Silence of the Lambs movies, Manhunter, Luke Cage,
and the Langoliers.
Coming to America. Yeah, Langoliers.
Other Stephen King.
But, I mean, that's the 2 I was going to go with. I figured all y'all would pick the other guy.
So. Giancarlo Esposito.
I didn't even realize that was him, so I didn't pick him.
Holy shit, that's what I was talking about earlier.
I had to point him out. I had to point him out to Jenny in the movie too. I was like, "Hey, you know that's Gus Fring, right?" And she's like, "No."
I remember like kind of looking at him. I was like, "Is that somebody?" I'm like, "Nah," but it was. It was somebody.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, what Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Mandalorian, The Boys. I'm like, that's why I said I think he's too famous because everybody knows him now, especially from The Mandalorian. If you didn't know him from Breaking Bad,
yeah, I mean, well, those are just TV shows, not to mention all the movies the guy's been in. Too, so.
Other movies like Usual Suspects and all that stuff. So that's why I thought he was too famous.
I think he is the perfect person for this little segment that we do that has gone to like. He was almost famous. Now he's gotten famous. Like he's at that point now. Like he's kind of a household name at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in a Star Wars movie and you're a central character at that point, yeah, you're famous. You can't walk out into public at all. So, I mean, well, Breaking Bad was such a big thing on TV anyway. I mean, I'm pretty sure even back then he had a hard time.
Well, I mean, the thing about Breaking Bad is he made an impression on that show, only being in it for what? I think he was only in it for 2 seasons, maybe 3. You know, Better Call Saul has revived that, but he came in, around the halfway point of Breaking Bad and really made an impression in the time he was in it. So,
what do you think? What do you got, Jenny?
I put Yeardley Smith.
Yeah.
Because she's not like traditionally famous.
Right. I mean, if you're a Simpsons fan, you know that's who she is. I know her more from this movie and Legend of Billie Jean. Yeah. I'm sure she's done other things that I've probably seen, but those would be the two.
As good as it gets.
I don't remember her in that.
She was in City Slickers.
Haven't seen that.
But that's the thing is, I think the other two, Pat Hingle and
I think Frankie Faison is probably like a good one because
he's such a recognizable face, and he's been in so much and like a ton of television.
Dude, I just remember Coming to America. He's the guy that owns the apartment building. He's the landlord.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you boys stay in my apartment, and I'll move up here.
Does your apartment look poor?
Yeah, it's a real shithole. You'll love it.
Yeah, that's definitely probably going to be the one I would go with is Frankie Faison. Pat Hingle, of course, you just know him as Commissioner Gordon. So
yeah, wasn't he like the only character that played a reoccurring? Him and the guy that played Alfred.
Him and Alfred. Yeah, I think they were the ones in all 4 of them.
That's weird. Why even do that? Just recast him. Lazy.
Lazy.
Well, I didn't put her down because I don't think she's very well known, but I do want to talk about Brett in this movie. I think Laura Harrington, the young lady who plays Brett in this movie, is the worst fucking actress I've ever seen.
Wow.
Wow.
In this movie, you think she's... I mean, in this movie, she's not the worst actor.
I don't know. I mean, you put her next to Yeardley Smith, and yes, that's a competition, but I can at least...
like 90% of the other guys in the film that are just like freaking warm bodies on set.
You've got a point there, but but still, like every time I'm seeing the only time I'm really responding to her is in the car with the preacher guy. And, when she's really, being stern with him and telling him that she's not going to put up with his shit.
She's not being stern enough.
Right. But later when we get her to the truck stop and she's pining all over Billy and just kind of some of her reactions to things are so terrible. When I forget what it is, when something goes down, somebody dies, her and Billy are having this conversation in the back of the truck stop and she's like, I'm scared. And her reaction, her acting, and the whole fucking part is just like, bleh. Like I don't like her in this at all. I don't. Tell me how you guys felt about her, but that's my opinion.
My big thing wasn't really her acting. It was just the fact that somewhere between the beginning and the end of this movie, which doesn't take place, it's like a couple days or something.
Yeah, it's only like 2 days.
Like by the end, her and Billy. Some people call him Bill, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Keep wanting to say Bill, but anyway, they're like a couple. Like they're like, hey babe, what are we doing tonight? Like it's been 2 days you've been trying to survive. Like I get like the hookup, but like they act like they've been together for a long time. It's a little unusual.
Yeah, well, he is just out on parole. I mean, he ain't had a woman's touch in a while, so he's like, hey, I just even like that part. If I put my arm around you,
yeah, see, I
you're gonna like stick me with that.
I mean, he asked for consent.
That's
true.
Yeah.
Because she's holding a freaking razor knife in her hand, you better ask for consent. You're gonna end up like John Wayne Bobbitt.
You don't stab with these. It's more of a slashing.
Yeah. You don't stick somebody with this. Yeah, mother's little helper.
I guess I have to give her that. I mean, she's at least smart enough to know you slash with it and not poke somebody. Okay, so Billy is a dumbass then.
Billy's the
I had another person actually. I just forgot is the guy that played Brad, Leon Rippey.
Oh yeah. The Brad that's steals the ring at the end. He's like the last victim.
Yeah. All right. Yep. You're
He's
right.
been in a lot of stuff. You know, The Fugitive, The Patriot, 13th Floor,
Universal
Stargate.
Soldier.
Yeah, Universal Soldier. He's been in a lot of like that kind of stuff. Young Guns 2.
Yeah. Do you remember his part from Young Guns 2? He's the one who shovels the shit into the pit.
I don't remember that. No,
we got plenty
it's been
of
a
it.
long time. Raw Deal. Yeah. The Color Purple. Firestarter. I mean, he's in a lot of movies,
and he's got that face that's kind of recognizable. He's definitely stands out to me. I still think we're going with Handy.
Yeah, Frankie Faison.
Faison.
He's like, I want to be my uncle.
Right. Just seems like a nice guy. He just seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he just seems like a nice guy.
Well, I mean, in Silence of the Lambs and all the ones where he plays the guy that helps out at the hospital, you know, he's always that guy. What was his name? Barney?
Yeah.
In that? Yeah. I mean, he always played the likable character.
Yeah, he's a likable fellow.
You know, we've talked briefly about Deke going through the town and seeing all the people that have died. And
that's
whatnot.
another good scene. Like, I know not all of like the dead like body scenes or the whatever are totally make sense to the theme, but that's kind of creepy. Like, again, a very Stephen King-y thing, like a kid on his bike
in a neighborhood,
everyone's dead, and he's going through, and it's like he's just witnessing one horror after the other. And I like him riding around his bike. I was, you know, it makes me think of riding my bike as a kid. Like if shit went down, I would get my bike. That'd be the first thing I do. I get my damn bike so I can get out of here.
But it goes again to the thing about how does this work if it only affects machines? How are the fucking sprinklers cutting on and off? That's just a valve.
Yes, like, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but I like the mood of the scene. It's creepy.
Yeah, it just if the deaths in the scene made more sense to me, I would be able to go with it a little bit better. It's just when I'm watching someone who's been strangled by an electrical cord and it makes no sense, and I'm watching sprinklers going off in tandem with the music, it just all like
right. Did the cord just like coil up like a snake or something and just like wrap around her? Like, how does this work? But
I think the main death in here that works on this whole thing is you see at the very beginning, there's a guy with a chainsaw buried in him. I could see that. It's like they're showing the hammock. You got to look past the hammock. There's a guy in the next yard with a chainsaw through him. And then the lawnmower. I could see that because it is another gasoline engine type thing like the trucks. And it could run over somebody and kill somebody. And then I found out about that. That caused, is it the cinematographer to lose an eye? That lawnmower did.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, like threw a piece of something up at him and
threw a piece of wood because Stephen they told him to take the blades off. But Stephen King wanted the realism of the blades, and when it ran over a piece of wood, it shoved it in his eye, and I think he ended up suing him for like $18 million.
He wanted the realism of the blades. You can't even see the blades. We
should put the eye shot in the movie. I mean,
you know, he was on the cocaine.
Gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Let's get a shot of this guy's eye with a piece of wood in it.
There you go.
Sacrifice for the art, man.
I think Eric would fit right in that one movie, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Nightcrawler?
Yes.
Okay.
Couldn't think of it.
But that's what I do after we record. I go out and try to record car accidents and stuff.
And murders. And
it's fun. It's just a hobby.
One thing here about Hendershot, we've talked about how much of a piece of shit he is, but when Deke finally does get to the Dixie Boy truck stop, nobody will tell him what's happened to his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And Hendershot just blatantly goes out and says it. Yes, he could have been a lot more, delicate about it, but nobody else was fucking telling the kid his dad was dead. Like, I can at least respect the fact that he had the balls to tell the kid his
Give
dad.
it to him straight.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Did.
Your dad's dead, kid. It's a tough break or something like that.
Yeah. What does everybody think about the noise that when the trucks kill you? The chalk.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I don't know. By all accounts, I shouldn't like all the stuff I'm liking in this movie, but I did. It just scratched the right itch for me. I don't know. Like I realize, I mean, there's things I definitely don't like about it, but honestly, like at this point in cinema, in whatever, like I'm just happy to watch real cars crash into real things.
Yeah, you got a point there.
That's true.
I mean, there are a lot of crashing cars in this, flipping cars, the cars going off the bridge and like that kind of stuff. And God, it's just refreshing to watch like an old car crash. Got it.
Yeah, I
need some retro car crashes here.
Yeah, it's just metal crunching, and there's no CGI, and it's just I know we still do car crashes. I know not everything's CGI, but there's a realness that you feel when you watch these older movies. It just feels more tactile. It feels more raw.
I watched one of the behind the scenes things on the Blu-ray featurette, and it talks about some of the things they did to get some of these shots. And yeah, like nothing was remote controlled. Everything was people that had to be tucked behind a seat or behind a curtain and driven.
I actually saw a hand one time. Did you guys catch that?
I didn't catch the hand.
It was when the truck is like approaching Emilio Estevez and like getting in his face and kind of like walking him back.
The gas truck.
You can see a hand on there. Like
he's giving him the come at me, bro.
Yeah. You got a problem?
The gun, the one that the little dinghy that's the gun's on, that's a guy underneath it driving it. And the tractor that approaches with that thing is, if you notice on the bulldozer, if you notice, the back of it has like a little, I don't know, like a little box or something behind the driver's seat, and that's where the guy was in there driving it.
I knew Jason was going to correct you when you said tractor, because we've been through this with Tremors.
And I don't give a fuck.
Stop fucking it up. Get it right.
I love when the bulldozer shows up. I'm just like, oh shit, bulldozer.
It's funny you mentioned Tremors, because this was a better movie when it was called Tremors too.
Another like logic thing that's frustrating is the gun.
It's the worst. The worst fucking thing in this movie, dude.
Yeah, well, it's just like the gun is not aiming up or down. It's literally just right. I mean, you want to talk about Breaking Bad? Just duck and walk up to the thing and take the bullets out of it or something. Like, you're done.
The thing that makes no fucking sense about this at all is this thing's mounted on top of a bar that just simply is for it to swing around on. Has no mechanical motor in it whatsoever.
Sure. Yeah.
It is simply just there to hold a gun in place.
Yes.
There's no fucking way that gun would be moving on its own.
Yeah, the gun is on a swivel at the top of a stationary pole.
Yeah,
right. Well, if the car can change gears and all that stuff without somebody, but then again, it raises the question: why isn't the bicycle sentient? If a gun is sentient, then the bicycle should be sentient too, because it's a non-electric, analog machine,
And in that sense, okay, why aren't all the guns in the basement of this fucking truck stop
just
going
firing
off?
Killing
everybody,
everybody,
exploding, or just the grenades blow up the whole place immediately.
The fucking rocket launcher, like he's carrying the rocket launcher around inside the truck stop. It could just go off by itself and blow everybody up. Like,
the rules don't make any sense in this movie.
And let's talk about the rocket launcher thing, because about a year ago, that is the saddest moment on film. Because he blows up a whole truck of TP and everybody in the world was needing TP. Come on. When you see that, I mean, let's rewind a year. There's probably people that would be crying.
It's our most coveted resource and you blew it up.
It's different now, doesn't it?
It's the scariest part of the film.
Yeah, there you go. But I mean, really, when I was watching it this time, and I saw him blow up the toilet paper, that's my immediate thought, is all the people at Walmart that were buying all the toilet paper seeing that happen, and they're freaking out, probably thinking it's real, that all the toilet paper's gone. It just got blown up in Wilmington, North Carolina. Yeah, that was the saddest and scariest part of the whole movie in our current times.
So Deke is a smart kid. We learned this with the catcher's mask. And he knows Morse, so we're communicating with the cars now, and we basically make a deal with them that we're gonna load up your gas because you've been driving in circles for no reason around this thing, using up all your fuel for no reason. So you want us to fill up your tanks.
Mm-hmm.
So then we just keep filling up tanks for a while.
Well, that's the
thing. This part is weird. Like, I just don't understand.
Well, I mean, you got everything going on. Remember, they shut the power off inside because they knew that they could do that. And then the trucks are circling, trying to keep them there. But while this is going on, like they have become sentient to each other too. They're like talking. I swear to God, they are like with the lights flashing.
Well, that one's like calling other trucks to come.
Because you saw when Connie and Curtis were coming to the truck stop, they passed all these trucks headed one way. So it's like they know, like, are there not other people at other truck stops that are trapped that could put diesel in their tanks, or do we all have to go to the Dixie Boy? Because when all this goes down with, you know, the machine gun and the bulldozer showing up, and the bulldozer clears out the couple of the vehicles that they had blown up, so they could get to the pumps. I mean, they're just all there. Why are they all coming there to get diesel?
The other thing that I'm sorry, I gotta go back to it. The other thing about this fucking machine gun that's so problematic is
it runs out of bullets.
Like, yeah, the gun is gonna run out of bullets, and it ain't fucking reloading itself. Just throw something out to distract it and have it fire all its bullets, and then you're home free from Mr. Machine Gun. Like,
unless it's a gun owned by Rambo, and he never runs out of bullets.
I thought that was Chuck Norris.
Or Chuck Norris. Rambo, either one of them. They never reload.
Right.
They shoot a whole village of Vietnamese.
It's a very Rambo gun, if we're being honest. That might be the Rambo, the same. I'm not a gun guy, but how about when they climb through the sludge and Emilio gets it in his mouth.
Why do they have to talk about it?
And I love that the guy goes, "How's it taste?" It's like, I don't think in any situation, if I saw Eric crawling through sewage and fell in, I don't know if I would have the balls to go, "How did it taste, man?"
I know, because Eric would probably reach back, grab you by your beard. Oh no, you tell me. Boosh! Into the water you go. You go a mouthful of it. Just taste it. Just taste the shower pee. Taste the shower pee.
Kurt's little like jokes and stuff are not hitting. Like, he's like, Connie's annoying. Yes, like nails on chalkboard, but he's making these little like quirky like comments and stuff, and they're just not funny. None of them.
I'm sorry. I love those little comments he makes, especially when we first meet him, and she's like, "I gotta go to the ladies," and he goes, "Can I come in and watch?" It's like, it seems like something like a little like Christian couple that just got married and are about to have sex for the first time. Like, he's like, "Oh, can I come in and watch?" Like, he thinks that would be like sexy or like risque or something. Like, I don't know. I find some charm in that for some reason.
Terrible.
The only thing I will give Curtis is, like, I think he's at least, like, he has some nobility, because he's the first one to jump up, and when he hears somebody getting hurt, he's like, "I'll go out and help save this guy." Like, he's got,
"Oh no, you won't."
"Don't make me a widow on my wedding day."
But
Curtis.
there's a man out there dying. There's gonna be a man dying in here.
What a waste of space.
Well, this is a perfect time for...
You're gonna need a bigger quote.
Jason, your movie, you start.
Oh, wait, we need taglines.
Oh, yes. Jason, your movie, give me taglines.
Tagline, who made who? Evil's wills. Yeah.
I don't really even like the who made who stuff. It doesn't like conceptually work for me. Especially the waitress, like, "Lady, you didn't design any trucks.
The only good
you
thing
can't even
about,
work the
only
skillet."
good thing about the who made who thing is her going, "You can, we made you."
And but it's not even just that. It's her delivery with the body language.
Yeah,
like she's convulsing as she's saying.
It's weird when she goes out there, because that one of the guys goes to grab her, and Emilio just grabs him. Like, they had plenty of time to grab her.
Yeah,
but he grabs him. Is like, "No, don't go out there to save her." And
yeah, dude, let her fucking die. She needs to go away.
Bill wants to save everybody, but her. He's like, no, she can't work my skillet. My skillet's dirty as hell whenever she covers for me. I just had a couple eggs on. By the time I get out, it's a complete mess.
Yeah, maybe he didn't care for her. I'll get back to the taglines, but there was a part in the movie where they walk out and you see Mr. Hendershot zipping his pants up and she's buttoning her blouse.
Yeah, she was fucking Mr. Hendershot. Yep.
I missed that.
Yeah, so maybe nobody really cared for her because, end of that. Okay, all right. The other taglines: the day horror went into overdrive.
That one's pretty good.
That one's all right.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, and this is the one that's gonna, Stephen King, the master of terror, directed by the master himself? I don't think
you can only use that as a selling point one time.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like you said, he's totally distanced himself from this movie ever since then. Okay, quotes. What we got?
This machine just called me an asshole.
That's a good.
That's a good one.
My first note.
I'm gonna do my. I got this one because it's a nice long one.
And if you don't get your hand off my leg, you're going to be wiping your ass with a hook the next time you take a dump.
Swan, I never heard no talk like that when I was a boy.
I like when Hendershot says, "I got to wipe everyone's ass around here."
You know, I also noticed that, you know, Bubba Hendershot, he calls everybody Bubba too.
That's what I said earlier. Like, everybody's in this movie is Bubba. They should just name everybody Bubba.
Fucking ridiculous.
When the baseball coach is trying to get the sodas and there's an issue with the machine, in the background, one of the kids goes, "Uh-oh, no sodas."
And then when the one hits him, he's like, "What the hell?" This is one for some reason that has stuck in my vocabulary. That should tell you something, but is Bubba Hendershot. I think his buddy Bubba, the guy who's always walking around following him in his fucking cigar. Joe's like, "What's going on?" And he goes, "Fucked if I know, Bubba. Fucked if I know." And I say "fucked if I know" all the time.
Was Connie and Curtis getting wrecked? And he says, "I think I just loaded my pants."
Yeah.
Ginny laughed out loud when that happened.
Good God.
It's funny when he gets up after the first time he gets hit by a car. And you think he's dead, and he just kind of gets up and he's like, "I'm okay."
No, he's walking towards Connie and he looks like a fucking zombie.
He's filthy and disheveled. He just got like hit by a car, and
then he kisses her, and Ginny was like, "Ooh, gross."
She's got fucking like
grease or something
all over his face. Nasty.
Somebody says, "I hate those fucking trucks."
Yeah.
Thought that was a good line.
One of my favorite parts of the movie, though, is in the morning when the machine gun thing pulls up and the tractor goes into the building and whatnot. That one guy comes out of the double doors and he's drunk as fuck. He goes, "What the fuck is going on?"
But breaks both windows.
Yeah. I fucking love that shit.
All right, here's Brett. This is her Oscar-winning line. "Tell you something, you sure make love like a hero."
Yeah, all the hero stuff was a little
fucking gross. Speaking of Hendershot, you, sir, without a doubt, one of the biggest fuckheads I've ever met in my entire life.
Oh yeah, when talk about him being insensitive, it says Duncan got scrubbed by one of those big boys out there. Tough break, kid.
Yeah. Well, nobody else was gonna fucking tell him. I'm sorry I hung up on that, but Jesus.
Yeah, give the guy a break, you know?
Yeah, Hendershot's a good guy. I mean, he's just
a good guy when you get to know him.
Oh, here, the other good long one. "All right, you bastard, tell all your friends the main line is open. I got the best shit on the East Coast, practically uncut." You got that fuck face?
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. He's like talking into the ear of the thing. Like, I don't know. It's just fucking dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb. I mean, it's funny though. Like it's dumb funny. I mean, if you can watch One Crazy Summer and laugh at some of that garbage, you should be able to laugh at Emilio Estevez talking shit to a truck.
No.
Nose to nose. Yeah.
There's
nose
too
to
much
nose with a truck, like being like, "You got a problem? You got a problem with me?" He's like literally talking shit to
There's
the
too
face
much of a
truck.
fucking sense of reality here than there was in One Crazy Summer, my friend. You have to at least admit that.
Yes, but I mean, I think maybe, you know, there's more intent than you're giving it credit or than you're, you know, realizing or something here, because some of this stuff is just so silly. Like, yes, it's played straight, but I don't know. I guess for me, a lot of it is just about being madcap crazy, you know?
Yeah. Now, come on. I wrote this one line down, and this kind of encompasses all of Brett's acting abilities, because I don't know. Is it weird when people drop the name of the movie in a line?
Oh yeah.
Especially when it's done as fucking disgustingly as it is here.
It's like what he said was she was supposed to be going to Florida. He says, that's what I was doing before every machine in the world went into maximum overdrive. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I think my label for this movie is disgusting. I think I've said that word about 100 times.
I don't know.
At some point, Emilio Estevez says, Jesus is coming and he's pissed. Thought that was funny.
I didn't even understand that.
Yeah.
What's he mean?
I don't know.
What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means in the context of what was going on.
Oh, and the best quote, it actually is from Joe's ass for the Foley shitting sounds.
Dude.
Oh my God.
Dude, when he's talking to Billy, just that.
He's mid shit and Billy won't let him finish his shit to talk about the weapons stash, man. Cash.
But I mean, they kept it real. He's on the toilet and you can hear him shitting.
Yeah. It's a great shitting scene. One of the all-time greatest shitting scenes. Put it up there with Dumb and Dumber, Austin Powers.
Who does number 2 work for?
Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, I want to point out one thing. This is 2 Stephen King movies that we have done. The Running Man and then this of his books that both have Flight of the Valkyrie in them.
Oh yeah.
I remember I was watching this when the plane was flying over and I was like, Jason brought up Flight of the Valkyrie in the last episode.
And I was like, really? Wow. It's not the fact there's 2 movies in a row. It's that they were both written by Stephen King and they're in here. So.
Speaking of the plane,
the plane was awesome.
I love when the plane's just stuck in the school bus.
Yeah, it killed the kids. More kids dead.
Yeah, more dead kids. And this guy loves killing kids.
God.
And
I mean, we are talking about Stephen King here.
What would have made it better is on the back of that Happy Toys thing with the clown on it, and it would have been better if it said like Derry, was that Pennsylvania or where it takes place?
Yeah.
Or Maine.
Nice
Derry, Maine. Yeah. It would have been cool if he had that on the back of it, being that's the hometown of Happy Toys. So that would have been neat.
That would have been cool.
Would have been neat.
A little tie in there.
And instead of the Green Goblin face, it could have been a Pennywise face.
Ooh, I don't know. I still liked it. I saw like the Green Goblin. So, but where are we at? Like Deke's already there. He made it through there. They go to rescue Bible salesman guy. He's dead.
I have something else about.
Well, he's not dead.
No, he dies when because
he
got
dies
out
after that.
Yeah, well,
he says, "Pull me out" or whatever.
Yeah, but then he dies.
Then he does die. Yeah.
Yeah, that they don't really do a good job of explaining that. There, he's grabbing hold of Deke, and then when Billy and the other guy come out of the drain, the other guy's just like, "Oh, he's dead! Like he just died in the middle of trying to be pulled away." It was just
he just died. They could have kept him alive because the truck pulls into the ditch immediately after that, so they could have had him just get hit by the truck right there.
Yeah.
But again, even the truck driving over the thing into the ditch, I'm just enjoying trucks crashing into stuff.
Yeah, the dump truck. And if you think about it, it wasn't the fact they were trying to kill him. They cut off that passage for them to escape.
Yeah.
So there's like I said, they're smart. They're sentient. They're thinking. They're working together.
Not understand. I mean, I guess I do understand. They want them to pump gas for them, so that's why they're not just immediately killing them all.
Yeah, they know that they have to have fuel to move around, do whatever they're going to do.
Right, but once that's over, he finally takes out the machine gun car, which was easy, of course.
Yeah, it let him walk right up to it and push it away. Like,
yeah,
it completely.
Yeah, like Josh said, just hit it, bam!
It completely just fucking makes no sense.
And it's spinning.
Oh God, I fucking love this movie.
They level the thing. We've got a plan to get out. Everyone.
Well, the thing is he has this revelation of we can go get on a boat, no engines, no nothing. It's like, dude, just find a car. It doesn't appear that anything's wrong with the cars around here because none of them are coming to life.
But they did because they passed those cars that were wrecked on the side of the road. The headlights were flashing, and in the neighborhood there was a woman with her head crushed in the power window.
Oh, well, there's another one with a guy with something in the window of a car too.
Yeah,
that's the point I'm getting to is
not all cars.
You're not making logic here.
Yeah.
Like if one car is killing somebody, then all the cars should be killing people. It's like, oh, only certain cars with this particular catalytic converter are affected by the comet that's going by right now. Like, it makes no sense at all.
Well, not only that, when you walk into the woods, you're fine because none of the cars can drive in there.
Yeah.
Just stay in the woods.
But lawnmowers and backhoes and tractors can.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
What if you had like a skidder, you know, like a shearer that goes through and actually cuts trees down for logging? What if you ran into that motherfucker in the woods?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So
or a hairdryer.
Or a straight hair dryer on a 2,000-foot extension cord.
Flying hair dryer.
With Flight of the Valkyrie playing.
That's it. All of the electrical appliances in the house gang up, connect all their cords together so
like
that way
Voltron.
they can.
Yes. Why didn't we not have Transformers in this movie?
They all connect their cords to make appliances across America.
Yes, we had hands across it like he was talking about in 1986. There you go.
Oh God,
like
this
it.
movie gets better the more we talk about it.
But this is probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when they do get out and the trucks just start destroying the whole freaking place.
You know,
that's fun.
Jenny was a little confused because there's the one scene where a truck pulls up and stops before it gets into the truck stop.
Right.
And she's like, well, what's stopping it from going all the way through?
I was asking that the whole time. Like, why don't they just blast into this thing? But
there's a drop line that Billy says is when
it's got a basement.
Yeah, he's like, if the trucks come in here, they're going to crash through and go into the floor, and they're not going to be able to do anything.
That's goofy.
Yeah, it's a
How do
throwaway
the trucks
line.
know that?
Exactly.
Are speaking through Morse code.
Hey, how did they know to block the culvert where they were going in and out of to keep them at the truck stop?
They know language.
Yikes.
Yes.
Bigger question is, you know, this. He says the aliens are cleaning house with the broom, right? The broom line. But like, why would the computers say "fuck you" and you're an asshole? Like, that's not like, I get it. They're just wanting to like cleanse the earth of humanity, but like, why would they insult us first? Like, hey, fuck you. We're, you know, but also it's kind of less a broom and more like a Roomba situation.
Yes. It's an iRobot.
We need this movie again in modern day with like modern day.
Hey, speaking of that
technology,
his son, Joe Hill, has mentioned that he would like to write and direct a remake of this.
He has expressed interest in it.
Dude, if it was a horror comedy, I would be on board.
Yeah. I think it could be done better, especially with how much we rely on technology today.
Yeah, it's even more
I think it would be. Yeah. But I still would like to keep some of the aspects of, like you said, with the trucks. That's scary. I mean, because we already have your cell phones trying to kill you with basically the Terminator series of computers are trying to kill.
Skynet did come to mind while I was watching this.
I mean, Stephen King did write a book about your cell phones killing you. So
right. Yeah. And this is all coming from the master of horror. And you say remake. Now, this was remade for TV. And I watched the movie. Because I do my research for this podcast, and I was like, oh, I got to watch this.
I never heard of a remake for TV.
It's not called Maximum Overdrive. It's called Trucks. They based it closer to the book.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
And in that one, it takes itself way too seriously. So that's the one thing I will say. And like, again, like, I'm just having fun here on a podcast, but like I do enjoy watching this movie because it's so fucking silly and makes no sense, and it's got great lines in it. And then you've got something like this where they're like, oh, we made a misstep, let's remake this and follow the book closer. Well, this thing just kind of plays itself way too straight, way too seriously.
It makes a way better tagline though.
What is
you
it?
turn, you die.
I like it.
That is a good one.
Way better.
But I mean, it does have a little bit more of a sense of creepiness. And like in that one, only the trucks are affected by what's going on. So trucks are the only thing trying to take people out.
What about SUVs? What about crossovers?
That is not touched on. It's
what
just
about El
trucks.
Caminos?
Oh.
It's El Camino is a car and a truck.
It's like the Daywalker.
Or it's a Subaru Baja.
I will say the way it ends, though, I do quite like, and I'll go ahead and spoil it for you because you don't really need to watch this movie.
Okay.
And
thank you, Josh, for saving this.
There are 3 people left at the end of this movie, 2 adults and a child, 1 female, 1 male, 1 child. And they finally get to a place where the trucks aren't chasing them, and they get into a plane, a helicopter lands, and it's like, oh, they're coming to save us. They think it's a rescue team, and they all shuffle into the helicopter real quick, and as they're flying off, they're hugging each other, and oh, we got away, and they look, and no one's flying the helicopter.
Oh.
And the movie ends like,
Dun, dun, dun.
I like that.
I do. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. The sequel could be called Helicopters.
Helicopter.
This time it's going to the sea in submarines.
Yeah, at the end of Helicopter, they escape onto a boat, and there's no one driving the boat. Like,
but speaking of boats, it's Billy's bright idea to go get on a sailboat that has no motors, and he's heard of this island where there's no mechanical vehicles allowed on the island whatsoever, and that's going to be their safe haven.
Yeah, is this like the Amish? So like an Amish island?
I don't know. I kind of think
the Amish are fine during this.
The Amish are sitting back just laughing.
Yeah, they're just sitting at home going, look at all these stupid assholes getting killed by their vehicles.
Yeah, the Amish take over the world after this. Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Right, I'm going to go churn some butter.
I'm going to go build a barn with dowel rods and a wooden hammer. I'm good. But the thing is do we get a sense of like Dawn of the Dead here?
Yeah,
Let's hop on a sailboat and go to an island.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Dawn of the Dead did it better.
Yeah. But when I saw that, that's exactly what popped in my mind is the whole Dawn of the Dead thing. Get on now, see the
well, not only that. I mean, like other zombie movies, they escape on planes or helicopters and things like that.
Well, the original Dawn of the Dead, they get away on a helicopter, and then
Day of the Dead, they escape in a plane, right?
I don't remember. It's been a little while since I've seen.
I'm going Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I'm going Dawn of the Dead, the new one where they got on the boat.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we got on the boat, but I'm just saying, like, it's kind of a speaking of Romero, like, it's kind of very similar to the end of a zombie movie.
Yeah,
a lot of zombie movies.
Don't you guys think this last act happens way too fast?
Dude, they haul ass from the Dixie Boy to the marina.
Yeah, like it happens in the snap of a finger, and I'm just like, oh, well, that was
it's a little like time to wrap up the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was kind of like Stephen King was on his last $100,000. He needed some more cocaine. Let's fucking wrap this shit up. I got shit to buy to shove up my nose. But I mean, we get here, and I liked it. What's his name? You mentioned the actor that goes back. We see the dead woman with the ring. Yeah, Brad. And I love the shot of the truck. How did we not hear an 18-wheeler pull up and park? It's just sitting there.
Well, how does he not hear him drive up to him? Like, he had so much time to run away from that truck, and the time he turned around and saw it, and how quickly it hit him, it makes no sense.
Yeah, people do not react quickly enough in this film.
And we get our final chomp, 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 chomp. I love that. And then how's it end? It's easy. Let's just shoot the last remaining rocket into the mouth of the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Movie's over.
I mean,
We're great.
It's a good explosion. Get a big boom, and
blowing up the Dixie Boy is pretty good too. I like that.
Yeah.
The whole Dixie Boy destruction scene is fantastic.
I like how they grieve Brad for about 4 seconds. They're like, "Oh no, Brad's dead."
Brad's dead.
Like, yay, we killed the truck. Let's go.
And apparently, the Dixie Boy was erected specifically for this movie.
Yeah.
And they had trouble with real trucks stopping in, thinking it was a truck stop while they were filming.
Yeah, they had to put something in the local papers. This is not a truck stop. Did you know what else I read about this movie? They were shooting this movie at the same time they were shooting Blue Velvet.
It's like Jason does the same exact fucking research I do because I have the same note here.
Hey, dude, did we not say I'm Chainsaw, you're Dave? We share the same brain.
So what's the relevance?
They were all there and there were not many places to lodge. So all the production crew and the cast were sharing and hanging out after a day of filming.
Oh, wow.
So, and they were talking about here you have Maximum Overdrive and here you have Blue Velvet. So
you got David Lynch over in this. You got David Lynch over here going, I'm making a real movie over here.
You think Stephen King and David Lynch like chatted it up?
That's what I'm
man,
saying.
that's-
I mean, can you hit? That's what I'm saying. Them two were probably
those
hanging
two,
out,
like having dinner together. That must have been an interesting.
snorting lines of cocaine off a stripper's ass or something.
Honestly,
I don't know.
what if? What if David Lynch is a Stephen King character come to life? Because I would believe that at the drop of a dime. Like, David Lynch is someone that you would fucking read about in a Stephen King book. Oh my gosh, we gotta make a movie like Being
He's
John
not
Malkovich.
from Maine, though. It doesn't say
Yeah, he's from like middle America. I think we should do a movie like in the vein of Being John Malkovich, but it's Stephen King writing the character of David Lynch, and David Lynch comes to life. I think that would be great. Very, very meta. A chance to play with some meta stuff here. But all right, well, this is a horror movie, ladies and gentlemen. So
Top Kills.
Jason, your movie, your turn.
Well, I'm kind of going to go. I mean, I got a ton of them here. I'm just going to name off a few, but I'm going to do one and let you guys do it. I'm going to go with the plane and the bus with all the dead school children.
Do we see any dead kids?
No,
I don't know. It's you know that the school bus was going down the road with kids. Why else would the plane crashed into it?
I think we need a confirmation that there were actually children on the bus.
What about the driver?
Either way, somebody got killed by a plane dive.
The plane wouldn't attack an empty bus.
Sure
They're not
would.
attacking each other, Josh.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
All vehicles are friends with each other. You know.
Yeah. All machines are friends.
Yeah. Come on. They're like buddies. We're hanging out. We're having some motor oil after work.
That's why that truck hit Curtis and Connie's car and ran it over multiple times because they're buddies.
Because the car wasn't working with them. He was against the system. That's what it was.
Oh, one was a Decepticon and the other was a fucking Optimus Prime.
Yes.
Autobot is the term you're looking for.
I was waiting on somebody to correct me because Transformers are fucking stupid.
Jesus.
We're sorry for all the people out here who have, because considering most of the people who would listen to this podcast probably like Transformers, be it the old 80s cartoon.
Yeah. We're not talking about
the movies. We're talking about the cartoons
here. Those things are shit.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, go ahead, guys.
I'm going with Bubba Hendershot. It's not a gory kill. It's not anything in particular. He just gets gunned down by the machine gun, but I'm happy to see that motherfucker dead. So that's my top kill.
Jenny.
Soda machine gun.
Yeah. That was right here. I got it right here. Yes.
Soda machine. That was going to be mine. So my runner-up is Steamroller Kid.
That was my number 3.
That's my runner-up, Steamroller Kid.
What is it with all the kids dying?
Actually, the dad that gets hit by the truck, that's kind of a nice hit too, because it's a nice shot. Like it's kind of like the body kind of explodes. There's a lot of blood.
Yeah, when Duncan gets hit by the big trick, he got killed by one of them big boys out there. Let's see, what else do we have? I mean, well, shoot, you got all these deaths right there in the freaking neighborhood. I mean, I kind of like it. You know, I like music. I like the guy got killed by his freaking Sony headphones.
That doesn't make any sense to me. That one,
but still, it's still cool.
I agree. No sense.
And that's the point.
Crap.
It doesn't have to make sense.
All right. Well,
was that it?
That's it for me. There's not a whole lot of like standout kills in this movie, in my opinion.
I mean, well, you got, like you said, you got all the other ones. I mean, hey,
I like the video game room death.
But now coming up now, you're talking about Bubba Hendershot. What about when annoying, whining Wanda got gunned down?
I don't know. I'm more entertained by her than I am just disgusted by Bubba Hendershot. So.
Yeah, I can agree. Or when he kind of dies, when the truck runs into the salesman guy, he later dies from his injuries. Mm-hmm. So that counts as a death. So that was a good one too. He
later dies from his injuries.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Moment. I know exactly what you mean. It's funny.
All right, now one question I have. They're leaving in the sailboat. Yes. Where is all the... I'm looking around. I don't see any trees blowing or nothing. Most sailboats, which we
have a motor,
went over in one crazy summer, have an engine in the back of the sailboat. And that thing is trucking along. Are they not using that motor to get out of the marina?
They got Deke with a paddle on the side. He's just paddling away.
Another thing I wanted to bring up about Brett is she's very handsy with him throughout this movie. Did you guys notice that?
With who?
With Deke, the kid.
No, I did not notice that.
Once he gets in the truck stop, her arms are all draped over him the whole time, and she's like grabbing his shoulders.
She's trying
and
to be like protective of him.
Yeah, she's trying to be the mom character, dude. His dad
He's
just
got
died.
no parents, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're weird.
No.
Where's your mind, bro?
Yeah, he might have to have Billy and her might end up like taking care of him.
No, that's weird.
What's weird is they gave him a machine gun. That's weird.
And he shoots the freaking drive-through speaker. How many of us have wanted to do that in our lives?
Humans here. Humans here.
work the
Humans
gun
here.
better?
Humans here. Humans here.
Him or the girl from Running Man?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Like, who would you trust more with a gun? Deke or the girl from the Running Man?
Deke.
Yeah.
Deke uses his effectively. The girl from the Running Man.
Dude, he's a country kid. He's been probably shooting guns since he was little.
Right.
So I'm going to go with that. But we do find out that Billy was kind of right. Remember, the Russians shot down a UFO,
right,
with their weather satellite that had nuclear weapons and a laser cannon on it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
Checks
it really.
out.
So was it a comet or was it just aliens trying to take it over? Like he said, the broom, or Eric said, the Roomba, to wipe us clean so they could take over Earth.
In the remake, the dialogue there will be a Roomba.
DJ Roomba.
DJ Roomba. All right.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Why?
Why? I'll do it for you since you didn't do it, since I picked the movie.
Well, it's your movie. It's your go. Good, the bad, and the ugly.
No, because I like the movie. You guys go first. Well, I want it from Eric, who's never seen the movie.
All right, Eric, go for it.
Fine. Good. I like the drawbridge scene. I don't care what you guys say. I like real cars falling. I like
the watermelons.
I like watermelons. I like watermelon gore. I like people falling through windshields. That's good stuff. I also like Joey's pooping noises. It just made me laugh. I don't know. Maybe I'm a child, but it cracks me up. Bad, just the overall logic of the film, and ugly is Bible salesman talking with his mouth full.
Yeah. All right, Jenny, you want to go next?
The good, it was really funny. Like, I mean, I laughed a lot. I will say that for this movie. The bad, Connie screaming and yelling for like the whole movie.
God.
Damn!
Enough already.
Terrible.
And one of my favorite, I'm sorry, real quick. One of my favorite scenes is when they're crawling down into the sewer tunnel, and that guy is listening to her, like feeding her through the tunnel, and he, like, the look on his face is just like, I'm gonna fucking kill this bitch. Like, he just looks so mad. I'm sorry.
And the ugly is just the creepy ass Bible salesman, period.
Another very Stephen King thing for the truck to run over the Holy Bible suitcase as it drives away from him when it hits him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got some feelings about organized religion.
All right, we'll let Jason go last here. The good for me is the Green Goblin truck. I mean, I think that is the best, like, prop, whatever you want to call anything in this movie. Like, that is the one thing that stands out the most, and I think it's the best thing about this movie. That and Wanda going, "You can't! We made you!" I think that's pretty good.
I thought that would be your ugly.
The bad in this movie is the fucking machine gun stuff. It's fucking terrible. Doesn't make any sense. Awful. And the ugly is Laura Harrington's acting. I don't like her acting in this at all. So that would be my ugly.
All right. My good, just to childhood nostalgia of watching this movie. Like I said, and Josh mentioned, I watched this so many times as a kid. I liked it. I liked the trucks. Of course, me and Josh share the same brain. The Green Goblin truck is the best part of the whole movie. I mean, if you're into Spider-Man and big truck shit, that was 2 in 1 right there.
2 in 1.
2 in 1 right there. So, like I said, I loved the movie as a kid and everything. But
if you say you don't have a bad, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Oh no, I got a bad. No, I got a bad. I got a bad and an ugly. My bad, or the bad for it is.
It's all right, bro. Go ahead.
King should stick to writing and not directing, and he has obviously realized that with one movie. Maybe should have cut off the cocaine and just let Romero go ahead and direct the whole movie. It could have turned out better. I think maybe using the darker somber with some of the campy, maybe a good even mix of both the book and what he wrote for the movie would have been better. But obviously he didn't do that. My ugly is Hendershot, piece of shit. The Bible salesman, piece of shit. And glad they both died horribly. So that's it.
You know, I think Stephen King has now directed again, though. I believe he solely directed Lisey's Story, which is on Apple Plus.
That's the one we started watching, right?
We started watching it, but you weren't into it, it doesn't seem. So I'm going to finish it because that is like a very highly ranked Stephen King book for me.
I will say when we watched, I think I watched 2 episodes with you. And that show, I don't really know anything about the story or the book. I haven't read the book or anything, but from what I've seen of that show and the way it's made and produced and the writing and whatnot in it, seems like it would come straight off of the page of a Stephen King book.
Mm-hmm.
Lisey's Story was not directed by Stephen King.
It was not?
No.
He wrote the screenplay.
Yeah, he was executive producer and writer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry.
So yes, Maximum Overdrive ruining forever. He is never going to direct again.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for our conversation about Maximum Overdrive. Jason, did you have fun talking about your favorite movie of all time?
I never said it was my favorite movie of all time.
You fucking love this movie. You won't shut up about it, and we're not watching it again. So this is the only episode you get for this movie.
Hey, it's my makeup episode for Life Force. Yes, I said it in this episode too.
That's all right. I can edit it out.
Ooh. But you a bitch. Okay.
All right, everybody. We want to say thank you for listening. If you've listened this far, you're an awesome person. Make sure you give us a review, a star rating, a like, a subscribe, whatever on our social media. Follow us on YouTube, all that good stuff. And until next time, be kind.
Rewind.
It's over.
Shut the fuck up, Bubba.
Take us out with Joey's poop farts.
You've been listening to the VHS Files Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
If you like what you heard, please subscribe and drop us a rating and a review wherever you get your podcast.
It was fun.
Send your questions, comments, and movie suggestions to vhsfilespodcast@gmail.com.
You sick fucks, you've seen one too many movies.
Don't you blame the movies!
Follow us on all social media outlets at VHS Files Podcast.
Movies don't create psychos!
Check out our YouTube channel for more content.
Movies make psychos more creative!
Thanks for listening.
DJ Ruba, the horror film.
Joey? Yeah.
Welcome to the movie of the week, where we go back in time and we look at.
See, there you go.
More than meets the eye.
Down the cellar.
Jason's like Stephen King. Brevity is not his strong suit.
Stephen King takes 10 pages to describe one wall. Yes, we need Joey's poop farts right there, like subliminally.
I need some nice poop farts to take us out.
Talk to me, Joey.
Everything. He's got everything. Now go and leave me alone, Billy.